Hi guys, Ken here, Postcards from Cebu. My thoughts on retiring in the Philippines. That's actually our plan. Vivian and I, once I retire, I'm a few years away, but once I retire, our plan is to move back to Cebu and finish out the rest of our lives there. That's our plan. Plans, though, can change. And so, I told Vivian, we were talking last night on Facebook Messenger, she may like it here in the United States. And so we may end up staying here in the U.S. Once again, I'm about 3 years out. And the reason I say 3 years, quick update on Vivian's, the paperwork, the package has moved from USCIS. Obviously, I made a couple of videos that we were very excited that she got approved. Now that package is moved to the National Visa Center, and so I'm waiting on getting a bill from them, but the process is moving along. Once she arrives here in the U.S., she'll get a date. A date will be put on her green card, and that's when the clock starts ticking. 3 years later, she can apply for citizenship. She can take the test and become a U.S. citizen, which I think I'd like for her to do if she wants to. That's important because then she will get a U.S. passport. She can get a U.S. passport, and then we can travel on a U.S. passport pretty much anywhere she wants to go. And I know she would like to visit Paris, places like that are difficult for Filipinos with a Philippines passport because they have to get a visa and stuff ahead of time. That may or may not be too much trouble. Since she has a green card, she may be easier for her to get a visa to go, tourist visa to go visit France. But whatever, I would like for her to have a U.S. passport. She can be a dual citizen, balik bayan. She can also be a Philippine national and a U.S. citizen. I cannot, of course, but she can. So retiring in the Philippines is what our plan is. And so some thoughts on that. First of all, the climate is, I love the climate. It never gets cold. It's warm all the time, and that suits me just fine as long as there's aircon close by. And the sun rises and sets about the same time. It's about 12 hours a day and night, a little different than it is here in North America. We tend to have the long days in the summer and very short ones in the winter. In the Philippines, since they're about Cebu is about 10 degrees north latitude, the time, it's about an equal amount of time, day and night, just about all the time. So, so some thoughts on retiring and moving to the Philippines. There are other vloggers. I think My Philippine Dreams, Ned and Michelle. Ned does routinely does a monthly wrap-up thing where he talks about what his expenses were for the month. Pretty much all you need to live on in the Philippines and live a reasonably decent life is somewhere between $1,600 and $2,000 a month. If you can generate that income from retirement money, more power to you. I should be able to handle that easily, so I don't see that as being a problem. But there are some other things you should be aware of. One is medical. Here in the U.S., most of us have medical insurance through an employer. I'm a veteran, so I get my medical care from the VA, but my employer also has an insurance program. As a matter of fact, I just recently talked to them about when Vivian arrives in the U.S. And she'll get her Social Security card maybe in a week or two after she arrives. Once she has that Social Security card, the company will get her set up with medical insurance on my plan, and that'll be good to go. But in the Philippines, there's not a lot of that. So when you do retire, make sure you have some money in the bank. Vivian, 30,000 pesos for a procedure that she's going to have in a week or so. You know, I got to make sure I have the money in the bank to pay for that, and well, fortunately I do, so we'll get that taken care of. But do be aware that you will need to have a plan for how to handle these medical expenses when they do arise. And fact is, the older we get, the more we need medical services, right? So keep that in mind. The other thing is housing. You want to make sure housing is, well, first of all, you can rent, and renting a place is not all that expensive. It's certainly cheaper than it is here in the U.S. and works well within the budget. I think Ned and Michelle over Philippine Dreams, My Philippine Dreams, also Rike over Life Beyond the Sea. Those guys also rent their places and don't seem to have any trouble. Vivian would like to buy a place, and she wants to have a place of our own, and I'm totally cool with that. One thing you have to be careful of is, as a foreigner, I cannot own land in the Philippines. Now, the way you get around that is my wife will own the land. Okay, so we'll buy a place, and my wife will own the land, and I'll own the building, and or some combination, maybe together we can own the land. As a matter of fact, I remember one person telling me the only way a foreigner can own land in the Philippines is if his wife passes away. So we don't want that to happen anyway. I don't really care about owning it. Just as long as we secure it and we have a nice place to live. So be thinking about that. Nothing wrong with renting, though. I mean, I know a lot of people that do just that, and they get along just fine. The other is you should probably have an exit strategy. That means have enough money banked up that if you needed to get out of Dodge, in the case of, say, civil unrest or warfare or anything like that, if you needed to be able to bug out in a hurry, you have the money. You might catch the last flight out of Cebu on your way to LA, you know, who knows. But do have an exit strategy, have money banked away, saved up that you can use in case of an emergency, and if you need to bug out, you can. That's is it likely to happen? Nah, probably not. But I personally like to have a little stockpile just in case. You know, just in case money is a very good idea to have something put away in case everything goes to hell in a handbasket, as we used to say. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. I hope you enjoy your retirement. If that's your plan, if you plan to retire in the Philippines, I hope you enjoy it, and I wish you luck and success in the future. As always, guys, up here somewhere is going to be a button. Click to subscribe. We'd love to have you join us. And comment section below. Feel free. I answer all the comments, assuming they're appropriate. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a good one.